We need to bring back the philosophy of boys will be boys. I've been thinking a lot about this. When I was when I was a teenager, um, I was raised by I don't want to say a single mother because at one point she remarried another man, so I had a stepfather for a while. So she wasn't entirely single, but um, I had a bully in my school. Um, He never actually beat me up, although he wanted to, I think, and he enjoyed scaring me. Um, and he did slam me into the lockers a couple times. He did, I think he hit me a couple times in the kidneys and called me a faggot a lot. Just, and my mother did the Karen thing, basically, the mama bear. She marched right into the principal's office and bitched him out and made them get all over the case of my bully's father, and and the bullying stopped. But here's the thing: it took me a while to realize that everyone, the whole school, kind of found out about it, and everyone just quietly laughed at me behind my back because I was just this big mama's boy, and my father was a insane and really stupid, hollering evangelical preacher, and he was very abusive. So that's why she divorced him. So I didn't really have a decent father. But I look back on it, I think I wish I had a decent father because, from what I've seen, fathers when they see their son getting beaten up or bullied in in school, um, especially if we're talking about the teens, they start talking to them about, you got to learn how to fight. And, they might teach them, they might enroll them in a martial arts class. But I mean, the father understands that, like, you can't just rely on the authority. And so this leads me to a fundamental understanding of the difference between the feminist view on bullying and versus a man's view on bullying. Modern feminism basically just says bullying is wrong. It's bad and it's wrong, period. You just don't do it, outlaw it, and punish those bullies. I think in the man's world, bullying is understood to be a very unfortunate part of growing up. Bullying is your first introduction to the fact that life is not fair and the world can be kind of dangerous and maybe you need to arm up. And I've had a lot of regrets because I didn't get the proper guiding to armor up like that, to learn to survive. Instead, I got mama's boy, Karen, all that bullshit. And I also there's something else with this too. I think that bullying is related to um, initiations or hazing, as it used to be called. I don't even know if they talk about hazing anymore, but hazing, if you go back to tribal communities where life was rough and the men had to be tough to be able to handle stuff, when boys reached a certain age to where they were going to become men, they had to go through a rite of passage. And it was not a fun thing. They were exposed to something. They went through something very painful, excruciatingly painful, or scary, or something. They had to undergo this ritual, and they had to suffer it and endure it. And when it's done, if the boy is still alive, he's not a boy anymore. He's a man. And it's an official thing. It's a way of taking that whole awkward adolescent phase where you're not sure what you are and giving it clarity. It's like, okay, so you're not a boy anymore, but you don't feel like you're quite a man. All right, let's put you through something, and we'll make you. You know, you've got to deal with this. You've got to accept this pain or this fear or whatever it is. You've got to go through it, and having gone through it, we see what you're made of, and now you are a man. And I think that when we in our society where we don't have that anymore, I think the boys instinctively have they feel a need for initiations. They feel a need for that rite of passage, but they're not mature enough to understand how it should be done. So then comes the hazing. Well, hazing has been outlawed, so now it's just down to bullying. And I don't. I guess I don't have anything more to say other than just to emphasize that um, we. I don't want to say bullying is good, but it is a part of growing up because the world is dangerous and life is not fair, and men especially have to deal with this. In today's world, women not so much so. They can kind of skip out, they can be protected, but men have to deal with it. And I think women don't understand that.